Welcome to part two of 6CHF, Church History in Focus, 6CHF. I'm the Reverend James Hollingsworth. I'm going to be teaching this second part of this course. Hopefully you've enjoyed Moira and her marvellous slides and her discussion groups. This course, this part of the course is going to be a little bit different, not least in terms of content, but also in terms of style and how I'm going to go about things. And so this little bit of YouTube is just a little introduction to that. At the moment, it's just after Easter, April 2021, just in case you're looking at other YouTubes and going, I wonder when that was recorded. So there you go. So you'll see other YouTubes that I've done, and they're marked 604CH. And that was because I recorded them last year, about this time last year, when we just could not meet. And so I recorded them. I've got mixed feelings about how useful they are, which coming from the lecturer is probably, I don't know how you respond to that, but there you are. So I am Reverend James Hollingsworth. I am the vicar of Seaford, which is right down on the south coast, and I'm new here, so I'm just still trying to figure my way out and around and what it means to be a vicar here. And so that's why I'm not going to re-record all my lectures thus far, because I'm not a scholar. So I hope that doesn't disappoint you too much. But I am instead a practitioner, which is why this church history course is so very interesting to me. And I hope that when we discuss things, that we'll be discussing it from a kind of so what perspective. How does this affect how we go about our mission, our evangelism, our pastoral care, how do we live as Christians in this world? So hopefully it'll feed into some of that. Now, how to get the most out of this course? Okay, I really do think it just boils down to printing off and reading and scribbling all over my notes. So there is on the Moodle the thing that takes you to those notes, printed off. I'm sorry, 114 pages, but I think it's worth it. It's a mixture. The notes that I've got, it's a mixture. It's massively using this guy, Stanley's book on church history, Christianity in the 20th century. Really impressive book in terms of its breadth and its depth. You don't have to get it. Print off my notes, you'll be fine. If you want a little bit more, yes, by all means. If you want a little bit less, have a look at my YouTubes. What I try to do with the YouTube videos is I try to sort of summarize it in about 20 minutes, but you can see that I cheat by reading and talking really quickly. And so I was watching a few just now, and it's been a year since I've looked at them, and I'm realizing how actually holding this is more useful than my YouTubes. But if you like a bit of YouTube, if it helps you engage, and there you certainly pick up some element of my character and some of my reflections upon what's being said. So it could be a useful thing for you. When we meet, my plan is that we're going to have 40-minute Zooms, and we're going to discuss certain chapters. So either we discuss all of the chapters, in which case we've got like 20 minutes per chapter, or we don't, and we have certain ones where we just really get into them and enjoy discussing and chatting about them, which will mean we skip others and we just don't do certain chapters. So it's really important as you come to think about your assignment, and I appreciate you might not be thinking about your assignment until the end of the course, but if you manage to think of your assignment before then, to say, chapter 4 is kind of where I'm at in thinking assignment wise. Can we make sure that we talk about that one? And yeah, we'll do that. We'll talk about that and discuss that properly. So do have a look at that. Now, when you have got hold of one of these, my course notes, you'll see that they are lecture notes written by me for me. Massive amounts of plagiarism, but vast amounts of footnoting as well. If you read a paragraph and in brackets it just says page 41, all right, then the default book is this Stanley book. That's where I've got what I'm thinking from. But at other points I'll refer to Noel, and his book Turning Points, because I think there's some rather good stuff in there that he talks about. Shouldn't be surprised when you see a reference to D-Mac, Diamond McCulloch, and his excellent book. I commend the Kindle version because of the ease with which you can go ahead and then look up certain things that you need to look up. Gonzalez, I think I footnote him just simply using the letters GZ and the page number, and I use him a lot. So what I don't do very much in this is I don't talk so much about original source stuff, right? You've got your Bettinson as an obvious source of easy access original source. Alistair McGrath has written loads of materials. He hasn't written, he's stapled together loads of different ways in which you can get some original source material. Actually, I didn't find this one so helpful as I expected it to. Sorry about that. But a lot of it is to do with working with what you've got to hand. This is rather good. It's a little bit heavy, literally, as well as physically. And even though this one is the third edition, the second edition is equally brilliant. And I commend that. And I didn't get a copy of the first edition. And they're different articles written by different people about the same theologians between the first and the third. There's very little difference between them. But they are very scholarly articles about theologians and their contributions to the theology of the 20th century. I've just lost my notes on where we're going with this. When we come to talk about the assignment, and we can do a little bit of that in the first time we meet, which will be the afternoon of the 7th of May. When we come to talk about that, just make sure that we've got a clear understanding. The assignment that you're doing for me, it looks like I'm going to be marking this. I know one of the YouTube says that Moira will be marking it because that's how she kindly offered last year. She hasn't made that offer yet. Never mind. Is that this is a resource and rationale assignment. So the resource bit is like a Lent evening or a magazine article, but think a little bit heavier than that, right? Just think we're looking for a bit of weight and meat and something to get your teeth into for this. The word count for this is 1,000 words-ish. We're really not that fussy on the word count for the resource part of it. Come to the rationale in a moment. So yeah, I mean, don't go flying over, but also don't think, oh, I must truncate this, I must be precise. Don't have to worry about that. When it comes to the rationale part, yes, you do. You do have to be precise about that. That needs to be 1,500 words and keep sharp as a button on the rationale part of it. When it comes to looking for a bibliography, I haven't done a bibliography because all the bibliography books that I've shown you thus far are huge and vast and broad and all-encompassing. Whereas when you come to look at certain chapters, you're really going to be wanting to type into JSTOR and see what it is that speaks to you about the particular aspect that you're looking at. So there really isn't one. And it's kind of felt that by the time you're a level 6, level 7 person, you've got the skills that you need to find a good bibliography for yourself. So that's sort of why we didn't go too far down that road. Let me repeat again that point about if you get ahead of the game and you can see the chapter that's the assignment that's going to get you thinking and excited, and you can see the relevant part of it, then make sure you raise that at some point and go, can we talk about chapter 9? And we will make a point of circling that and focusing on that, so that we really do have a good go at it. Now, at the end of the last year, 2020 cohort, we had an additional question that I raised to you, just a verbal one for discussion, which was, what do you think really is not talked about in this course? And the students said, youth work. There's nothing about youth work in this course, and that was a significant, massively significant movement in the 20th century. So with the group, we had a go at cobbling together what are the kind of headings, people that we would be looking to, and so I put together over the period of when we were meeting, I put together a sort of discussion paper, and I think I put it on Moodle. So if you want to, we could even have a look at that. And since then, one of the papers that I've been looking at that we might have an additional discussion on is to do with race, and so we might have a look at that, and I might have a paper ready for you before the end of the course that we might then have a discussion about. But again, I'll be listening to you in terms of where you think this course is missing this aspect of church history in the 20th century. So that's what I'll be looking for. If at any stage you need to get in touch with me, and my email's on the Moodle, do get in touch, and I'll be happy to see if I can help and encourage you in any way at all. Anyway, very much looking forward to seeing you on the 7th of May, and do get reading my lecture notes stuff, write all over it, particularly thoughts and questions, so that we might discuss a bit more certain aspects that you go, well, that's quite interesting. I wonder if we might chew that over a bit more. Anyway, for now, happy Easter, happy Eastertide, and peace be with you.